Hello everyone. Welcome back to another lecture on reasoning ability and problem solving. In today's lecture, we will discuss some examples for data sufficiency tests. Now let us look at example number 1. Example number 1 says that certain direction is given to us. It says that in each of these questions given below, one question and below it 2 or 3 statements are given. So in the previous lecture, we discussed that there are two types of problems in data sufficiency. Type 1 is based on 2 statements. Type 2 is based on 3 statements. Both of them have the exact same approach. It is just that type 3 has more data in compared to type 2. We have to determine basically whether the data given in these statements is sufficient to answer the question. So I can say that the objective of data sufficiency test is not to find the answer. We don't have to find the answer to the question. We basically have to determine the sufficiency of data. We have to determine the sufficiency of data. This is the objective of data sufficiency tests. Okay, now let us look at example number 1. Example number 1 says that there are 5 people, A, B, C, D and E, and they have different heights. We have to find who is the third tallest. So we have to identify the third tallest person. Now over here I am taking the tallest person and over here I am taking the shortest person. Okay. Now first statement says that E is only shorter than B. So B will be over here. E is only shorter than B. So we will have 3 people over here. We have to find the third tallest. That means we have to identify this particular position. Is the data given in statement number 1 enough to find this place answer? Therefore, statement 1 alone is not sufficient. Okay. Now let us look at second one. Second one says that C is only taller than A. That means if we have 5 people, C is only taller than A. So this is the position. We have to find this one. Can we identify the person in this position based on statement 2? No. So I can say that data neither in statement 1 alone nor in 2 alone is sufficient to find the answer. Okay, but now if I combine statement 1 and statement 2, so I am combining statement 1 and statement 2. So if I combine them, I am writing over here. If I combine the statements, I can see B will come over here and E will come over here. Correct? If I do 1 plus 2, B will come over here and E will come over here. The only person remaining is D. So automatically D will come over here. Then I can find the position of the third tallest. Correct? Then I can find the position of the third tallest person. So basically I need the data in both statement 1 and 2. So data in both statement 1 and 2 is sufficient to answer the question. Clear? So if I look at the options over here, I can see that fifth option says that both statement 1 and statement 2 together are necessary to answer the question. Therefore, this one will be my answer. Option number 5. Clear? Moving on to example number 2. Example number 2, we have to find out how many sisters does K have. How many sisters does K have? Based on statement 1. Statement 1 says that M is the sister of K. So, M is there and we have M is the sister of K. K's gender is not known, correct? This we discussed in blood relations. So, K's gender is not known. M is the sister of K. So, can we tell how many sisters of K there are? We can tell that there is one sister which is M, but in totality how many sisters there are we cannot tell, correct? That much information is not given to us. So basically I can say that statement 1 is not sufficient, correct? Statement 1 is not sufficient. Now let us look at statement 2. Statement 2 says that mother of K has 3 children. So K has a mother, okay? K has a mother. Who is the mother of K? That is not known to us. But she has 3 children. That means K is basically 3 siblings. K is basically 3 siblings. Together there are 3 siblings. But how many sisters does K have? Can we identify? No. Because we don't know whether they are male or female. Correct? We don't know whether they are male or female. So I can say that statement 2 is also not sufficient. Statement 2 is also not sufficient to answer the question whether how many sisters does K have. Now if I combine statement 1 and 1 and 2. If I combine statement 1 and 2, I can say, okay, K has a sister M. K has a sister M. So M is female. We will get from 1 and 2. Okay, so 1 and 2 we will get that, okay, M is the sister of K. But the third person over here, their gender is still unknown. So K can either have one sister or K can also have two sisters if this is a female. If this is a male, K can have one sister and K can have two sisters. So I told you in data sufficiency, we look for definitive answers, correct? We look for definitive answers. So we have a possibility of either one sister, correct? We have a possibility of either one sister or two sisters. So is this a definite answer? No, this is basically a not definitive answer. Not definitive answer. So if this is not definitive, I can say that statement 1 and 2 together are also not sufficient. So together also statement 1 and 2 are not sufficient to answer the question. So my solution will be, I can say that option number 4, statement 1 and statement 2 together are not sufficient. Correct? This will be my answer. Moving on to example 3, here we have three statements. Now, we have to identify among 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 who is the tallest person. Among 6 people, we have to determine the tallest one. Now, statement 1 says, based on statement 1, I can say X is taller than W but smaller than U. So, I am taking taller side to be this side and shorter side to be this side. Okay, so it is given to us that X is taller than W but smaller than U and U is smaller than T. So X is taller than W, smaller than U, okay, and U is smaller than T. This is given in statement 1. Can we identify who is the tallest person? No, because we still don't know the position of S, V, correct? Based on statement 2. Statement 2 says that U is taller than S and W. So whether S comes first or W comes first, we don't know. But U is smaller than T. Correct? And T is not the tallest person. That means there will be at least one person taller than T. At least one. There could be two also because we don't know the position of X based on statement number 2. So I can say that statement 1 is not sufficient and statement number 2 alone is also not sufficient. Correct? We have to find the tallest person. Now looking at statement number 3. Statement number 3 says that V is taller than T and U. So V is taller than T and U, but which comes first we don't know. And W is not the smallest person. So W is not the smallest. Correct? W is not the smallest. So this much information we know from 3. Now I will start from, this much information also does not gives us the answer that who is the tallest. Therefore this one 3 alone is also not sufficient. Now I am combining 1 and 2. Okay, I am combining 1 and 2. I can see that, okay, T, U, X position we know X is taller than W. So X will come over here. But we don't know whether S will come over here or S will come over here. So this much information is not known to us. But we have to find the one that is the tallest. So based on 1 and 2, I can say that only one position remains. So V will be the tallest. So V will be over here. So I can say 1 and 2 is sufficient. Correct? I can say 1 and 2 is sufficient. Now, let us look at option number 1 and 3. 1 and 3 tells us that V is the tallest and W is not the smallest, so S will be the smallest. So 1 and 3 also are sufficient to answer the question. 1 and 3 are also sufficient. Correct? Now, if I combine 2 and 3, If I combine 2 and 3, I can see that I will get V over here. W is not the smallest, so S will come over here. But X position is not known. Based on 2 and 3, X position is not known. Therefore, this is not sufficient. Correct? So, I can say either from 1 and 2 or from 1 and 3, I can find my answer. Now, I can see, if I look at the options, I can see that option number 5 says that statement in 1 and 3 or 1 and 2 are sufficient to answer the question. So my answer will be option number 5, that 1 and 3 or 1 and 2 are sufficient to answer the question. Clear? Moving on to example number 4. Example number 4 says that there are 4 friends that are sitting around a circular table, and the name of the friends are M, N, O and P. We have to find out, are they all facing to the center of the table? So again, this is a yes or no question. So if we get yes also and if we get no also, we can identify whether they are all facing the center of the table or not. Okay, from first statement says that N is sitting second to the right of P and P is facing the center. So this is the circle. Let's say we have 4 friends. So if P is over here facing the center, N is second to the right. That means N will be over here. P is facing the center. O is sitting to the immediate right of N and P. So immediate right of P, O will be over here. And immediate right of N, that means N will be facing this direction. That means, are they all facing the same direction? No. Some people are facing inside and some people are facing outside. So I can say that 1 alone is sufficient. Correct? I can say that 1 alone is sufficient. Now let us look at statement 2. Statement 2 says that M is sitting immediately left of N. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. M is sitting immediately left of N. So, two possibilities are there. Correct? Whether N is facing this side, then M will be over here, immediately left. And if N is facing outside, M will be over here. Correct? O is not sitting immediate left of M. So, O, if M is over here, correct? So O will not be sitting over here. So O is not here, M is not O is not sitting immediate left. That means O will be facing this side. That is why O cannot come here, correct? O is sitting immediate right of P. So P is over here, O will be sitting over here. O is sitting immediate right of P. That means P will be facing inside. Correct? And over here, I can say that P is basically over here. And O is sitting to the immediate right. That means O will come over here. So we have many possibilities, and in each possibility, some people are facing inside and some people are facing outside. So I can say that, are they all facing towards the center? No. Correct? So 2 is also sufficient. 2 is also sufficient. Okay. Now let us look at possibility number 3. Possibility number 3. Possibility number 3 or statement number 3 says that P is sitting between M and O. So P is here, M, O is here, or second possibility that P is here, we have M over here and O over here. Correct? N is sitting immediate left of M. So immediate left. So M will be facing outside, N will be sitting over here. Similarly, immediate left means M will be facing this side and N will be sitting over here. O is sitting to the immediate left of P. Immediate left means P will be facing this side, O will be over here, and P will be facing outside. That means O will be sitting over here because he is sitting immediate left. So even with third statement, there are 2 possibilities, and each of these possibilities says that not all of them are facing towards the center. There are some people who are facing towards the center and some people who are facing outside the center also. So I can say that 3 is also sufficient. So now do you understand? We are not finding the answer. We are not finding who all are facing inside and who all are facing outside. We just have to answer whether they are all facing towards the center, and they are not. There are certain people who will be facing towards the outside. So it is a simple yes or no question. And if we can get a definitive yes or a definitive no, that means the data is sufficient to answer the question. So my option will say that either 1, 2 or 3. All of them alone are sufficient to answer the question. So if I look at the options, I can say that option number 3 says that statement 1 alone, statement 2 alone or statement 3 alone is sufficient to answer the question. Therefore, my answer will be option number 3. Clear? So there are many possibilities. So we can easily conclude that not all friends would be facing the center. There would be some friends facing the outside. Therefore, all of them individually can answer to this question. Clear? Moving on to example number 5. Example number 5 says that there are 6 people. They are living in a 6-floored building and each of them live in one apartment of the building. The building are from 1 to 6th floor. Ground floor is 1 and then 2 and so on. So we have 6 floors. I am writing them over here. 1, 2 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 floors. Okay, 6 floors are there. Statement 1 says that in which floor C and B are living, there is only one floor between them. So between C and B, there is only one floor and A is living in an even numbered floor. Okay, so A is living either on 6 or 4 or 2. Correct? 3 possibilities. We have to find who is living on the ground floor. So between C and B, there are one floor. There is one floor between C and B. There is one floor. So it could be like this. Correct? Either C is up or B is up. Correct? So based on statement 1 alone, I cannot find the answer to the question. So this is not sufficient. Statement number 2. Statement number 2 says that E is not living in even number floor. So if I take statement number 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. E is not living on an even numbered floor. That means E lives on an odd numbered floor. So E will live over here. E will live at the third one or E will live at the first one. Correct? B is living in even numbered floor. So B can live either at 6, 4 or 2. So at 6 also we can have B, 4 we can have B and at 2 we can also have B. Correct? B is not living on top floor. That means at this position we cannot have B. We can have B at 4th or 2nd. So B is at 4th or 2nd. So this much possibility I am getting from second equation. So this is also not sufficient to answer whether who is living on the ground floor or not. Correct? Now let us look at the third one. The third one says that D is living in odd numbered floor. So D can live at 5, D can live at 3 and D can live at 1. Correct? In which floor D and A are living, there are 2 between them. So between D and A we have 2. So 1, 2, A can be over here. Correct? 1, 2, A can be over here and 1, 2, A can be at the 4th position also. Correct? And E is living immediately below C. So E is living immediately below C. This is given to us from statement number 3. So I can see that even statement number 3 is not sufficient to answer the question. Okay, with statement number 3 also we cannot identify who is living on the ground floor. Now if I combine statement 1 and 2, 1 plus 2, I can see again 3 possibilities here, 3 possibilities here. We cannot identify the correct one. Correct? So I cannot identify the correct one. So 1 and 2 are not enough. They are not sufficient. If I combine 2 and 3, this one and this one, I just know that C lives immediately above or E lives immediately below C. So I will get C over here. I will get C at the 4th position and I will get C at the 2nd position. but B can be either at the fourth position, so that means this possibility is incorrect, and this also becomes incorrect because B has to be either at the fourth position or at the second position. Correct? Now, B's position is still unknown. D's position is also unknown. If D is at 3, then A has to be at the 6th position. So this is also incorrect. If A is at 4, D has to be over here, and we can have B over here, and the only person remaining is which one? The only person remaining is F. Correct? So with the help of second and third, I can make this possibility. With the help of second and third, I can make this possibility. Therefore, I can say that second and third together are sufficient to answer the question. Clear? Now, if I look at the options, option number 2 says that statement 2 and 3 are sufficient to answer the question, whereas data in statement 1 is not sufficient. So, my answer will be 2 and 3. Correct? Now, example number 6. Example number 6 says that in a row of 30 students facing north, what is the position of R from left hand? So 30 students are there facing north. We have to find the position of R from left. So this will be our left, this will be our right. Correct? Now, there are 12 students between R and Q. So R can be over here, Q can be over here, or we can get this like this also. So 1 is definitely not sufficient. Now let us look at the second one. Second one says that T is 10th from the right and there are 16 students between T and R. So second statement says that T is, before T there are 9 students, T is 10th from the right. So we have 9 students and then there is T from 10th from the right. Correct? And between T and R, there are 16 students. So we have to identify the position of R from left. So I can see up till here we have 10, then we have 26 and 27. So over here I will have only 3 students. Correct? Because there are a total of 30 students. So I can see 9 student here. T is the 10th one. 16 over here. So that means 10 plus 16, 26 plus 1 position for R. So 27. So 27 out of 30 means 3 positions remain, 3 students remain that we can place over here. So with the help of this, from the left hand, I can say R is basically 4th from the left. R is basically 4th from the left. This will be my answer. So, my correct answer I can find with only option number 2. Therefore, option number 2 is sufficient, or statement number 2 is sufficient. So, if I look at the options, option number 2 says that statement 2 is sufficient, but statement 1 is not sufficient. So, this will be my correct answer to this question. Clear? Now, let us look at example number 7. Example number 7, we have to find the relationship between M and O. Statement 1 says that J is the sister of K, K is the son of M, and L is the brother of M. So, L is the brother of M. So, this will be male, K is the son. That means K will be male and M gender we do not know. Correct? J, K, M, L, this will come from statement number 1. Correct? Statement number 2 says that L is the brother of M. Correct? L is the brother of M and M is the son of Q. So this is male and this is also male. This is from statement number 2. So we don't know O. O has not been introduced in statement number 1 and statement number 2, and we have to find the relationship between M and O. Therefore, this is definitely not sufficient and this is also not sufficient. Now let us look at statement number 3. Statement number 3 says that M is the son of R. So we have R, M is the son of R, who is the husband of Q. So we have Q who is female. And R is the brother of basically O. R is the brother of O. Over here the gender of O is not known. In statement 1 and 2, O was not mentioned. Correct? In statement 3, O's gender is unknown. Correct? The gender is unknown. The gender is unknown. Correct? Now, we have to find the relationship between M and O. So, M can either be the nephew of O, correct? We have to find the relationship of M with O. So, M is basically the nephew of O, correct? O's gender is unknown to us, but M gender we don't know. M is basically the son of R. So, M is basically the nephew of O, correct? So, I can say that with the help of statement 3, I can find the answer. Therefore, statement 3 is sufficient. Statement 3 is sufficient. So, 1 alone is not sufficient, 2 alone is not sufficient, but 3 alone is sufficient. So, I can say that 1, 2 are basically not sufficient, but 3 is definitely sufficient. 3 is definitely sufficient. So, my answer will be option number 3 is sufficient to find the relationship between M and O. M is the nephew of O. Clear? So, this concludes today's lecture. Thank you.